Hi, everybody. John McLaughlin, time for another Warrior Wednesday. And today we're talking about firearms legal protection. And joining us from the big state of Texas, Jeff Rogers, the operations director for FLP. Jeff, first of all, welcome to our segment. And just want to tell folks that if you go to the IFC website and go to our Trusted Partners tab, the first one you're going to see is FLP, and we chose them for a reason. We think it's critically important, whether you carry a gun or not. If you own guns, you're a supporter of the Second Amendment, maybe you just carry pepper spray or some other defensive tool, you need someone to back you up for the fight after the fight, and that's where Jeff and FLP come in. So Jeff, welcome, and just tell us a little bit about why you, as a former business owner, decided to jump in with FLP and recommend this to the folks that you know.
Well, sure. Well, first of all, thank you, John, for giving me and the company the opportunity. And as you so alluded to, we're big proponents and advocates and supporters of your association, and anybody that's a pro Second Amendment or pro self-defense advocate. We're big supporters. So thank you so much, and enjoy being on the show. So as far as FLP and what made me join it, and what's kind of is what motivates us, is really just educating the public to the reality of the world that we live in today. And as you so correctly made the comment towards, whether you're a gun owner or whether you're just somebody that believes you've got the right to defend yourself, there is going to be some substantial consequences that could occur if, God forbid, you find yourself in a situation where you have to actually do that. Pull a gun out and shoot somebody, pull a knife out and shoot somebody, pull the Louisville Slugger that's been sitting in your closet for the last 20 years, the mace in your glove compartment, or the mace in your wife's purse, or the ballpoint pen in your hand. If you find yourself in a scenario that you've got to defend yourself, something is definitely going to happen. You could very well be arrested and charged criminally. And there's a very strong probability, with the world that we live in today, you're probably going to find yourself in a civil lawsuit. Even though you could very well be 100% in the right and you're going to be proven innocent, you're going to have to spend the time, the energy, and the money, and in some situations, a lot of money, to defend your right to do that. So it's an education with the public to realize, there are consequences that could happen if you find yourself in that scenario.
Yeah, we have a person that contacted us here a few months ago that was in a life and death encounter. They did not have any kind of legal protection, and already that's well into the six figures. And the first thing they said is, I've seen you talking about this legal protection, FLP, and I'm so sorry I didn't have it. That's not the time to recognize that. The time is now to protect yourself and your family. I actually pay for my kids, their wives, anybody like within my network that I know is focused on self-defense. I want them protected, because, like I said, you're talking mortgaging the house, sacrificing everything that you save for to basically protect your rights, that you did the right thing. You called 911, you were cooperative through the whole thing. You can still end up spending a ton of money and even sitting in jail for a while before this all gets sorted out.
Right. I mean, you mentioned Texas, here where I live. I'll just give you an example. You find yourself in a scenario where you shoot somebody, you stab somebody, you hit somebody over the head with a hammer, whatever the case may be. In Texas, you will be arrested. You're going to get arrested and you're going to go to jail, even though you may be 100% in the right. And maybe even law enforcement, when they go there at the crime scene and do their initial Q&A, in their minds are thinking, yeah, this guy was in the right. But you are going to be arrested. Okay, so that starts the wheels going. So what are you going to do? Well, obviously, with our coverage, you call our hotline the moment the incident occurs, before law enforcement even shows up, and you tell us what happened. We're going to spring in the action and start getting our lawyer network start working on your behalf to get going. But you're going to be arrested, and so you want to be bailed out. Well, we're going to bail you out, number one. But when you get arrested, that incident is going to be referred to the grand jury in Texas. That's a minimum of $10,000 to up to $20,000 right there, just being referred to a grand jury. And if it gets true billed, which means you're going to actually go to trial now, you're looking at a minimum of $25,000 right there. And so it then becomes the process of a criminal litigation case on your behalf. Let's assume it goes to the grand jury and they no bail you, which means they say, no, you're in the right, you're golden, charges are dropped. Well, then there's a real possibility, if anybody just watches the news, as we all do in the world that we live on today, there's a good chance that the person you encountered, he is going to or she is going to sue you. The family members could sue you.
Yep.
Innocent bystander that saw the whole incident happening could very well sue you for duress and whatever mental anguish they say they encountered at the scene of that. You're going to get sued, and now starts that process all over again. But the level of accountability or the burden of proof goes down much lower in a civil case, and that's where things really get expensive. And so we're going to cover 100% all your litigation fees, criminal, civil. Even if you get sued multiple times, we're going to cover all that. So you're right, John. You're talking about a lot of money that will add up in a heartbeat. And for most people, they're not just sitting with a cash flow of $100,000 plus just to write a check to pay for this. And it's a financially life altering experience. And people are, yes, absolutely take out a second on their home, got to sell their home, got to cash in their kids' college education fund to pay for all this. So it is a life altering experience that will last a long time. And even beyond that, if you find yourself, even if the case gets dropped, more than likely, again, here in Texas and probably most states, that's still going to show up on your record. So when you go to apply for a new job, if you go to apply for a loan for a home or a business loan, the fact that you were arrested, even though it didn't go to trial and the charges were dropped, that's still going to show up on your record. That's called expungement of your record. And that takes a lawyer that understands the policies and procedures of doing that. That's anywhere from a $5,000 to $10,000 spend to get that expunged off your record. We cover that as well. So again, it's educating the public to what is likely going to happen if you find yourself in a scenario where you're having to defend yourself.
Now, I hear some people say, well, I don't carry a firearm. They'll walk around, they'll have their little pepper spray like this. But I have seen cases in the media even recently where folks totally legally spray someone. There's no permanent harm, but they end up, maybe they're in an area where the law enforcement's not so conservative, and they end up being hauled in. So you guys will cover if you legally use pepper spray. Is that right?
Yes, we will cover any legal, lethal or non-lethal weapon. So lethal, obviously, two quick ones that come to mind: a gun and a knife. Right. Non-lethal, pepper spray, stun gun, your baseball bat, the car keys in your hand. Again, as I said, the Louisville Slugger, anything that you can grab a hold of to use to defend yourself from an assailant. Those are legal, lethal, and non-lethal weapons, and absolutely we cover you and cover them.
All right, let's get into the weeds here a little bit. In Iowa, our Iowa Firearms Group has been pushing back against what we call the protective orders, the red flag laws. So let's say somebody makes a complaint and says, that McLaughlin, I saw he had one of those pistols with the brace, and well, I think someone needs to go look at him. False allegation is made and the cops show up at the door and they want to start taking my firearms. Will FLP help me with that?
Yes. Well, obviously, at the moment that the law enforcement knocks on your door and says, we've got this complaint, we're here to confiscate, our recommendation is they've got the right to do that. Don't bow up and sit there and fight the police, because what is a unpleasant experience can turn into a very unpleasant experience. But to answer your question, absolutely, FLP covers what we call red flag laws protection. So we will absolutely go to fight and go to battle on your behalf to get that reversed and to get your legally owned firearms or weapons returned back to you. Okay,
that's good. So in talking recently with someone who's been through having to use lethal force, the things that happen after the fact, this is a traumatic event, regardless if you're in the military or a cop or whatever, folks struggle with that. And the counseling for something like this can be tens of thousands of dollars. Do you have anything in place with FLP that helps, with after the fact, after the trials are over?
Correct. We offer counseling and will pay up to $1,500 to put you in front of a professional. They'll help. So typically, they're charged about $100 to $125 an hour. So you can just kind of do the math. So that's like about 12 opportunities to get with a professional to help you through this, because you're right. Even if you are 100% in your rights and you said I had no choice, it was either me or him or her. It is a traumatic experience, and so you probably are going to need to have some professional help you through the recovery of that from an emotional and mental standpoint. But absolutely, we do offer that type of service.
Now, when our members talk to us at gun shows and stuff, they're getting pitched by a lot of different people based on what magazines they subscribe to or whatever. So just without naming names or something, just kind of give me, if you had 30 seconds to talk to somebody that walked by you at a booth at a public event, why should folks choose FLP over some of the other choices that are out there?
Well, one thing I always say to folks is, if I say, what, something's better than nothing. And so if you're choosing one of the other folks, that's the better than nothing. And so I say to people, if you're not going to go with FLP, go with somebody, because something's better than nothing. But probably the biggest differences between us is, number one, if you have an incident and you call our hotline, it is answered by an attorney. So you're immediately under client attorney protection. So that conversation, either the audio or the transcript of it, can never be subpoenaed in a court of law and used against you. If you think of the emotional moment at the time, no telling what's going to come out of your mouth at that moment, and you probably don't want it repeated back to you in a court of law, because it could have an adverse effect on your case and your ability to be successful in the event it did go to trial, or in the event that it's at a grand jury and they're deciding, do we no bill or true bill this case? Right. And then, as well as, we have uncapped attorney fees. We are never, ever, in any incident, ever going to come back to our members and say, hey, we're billing you back for this. That's not the case with some of our bigger competitors out there. It's in their contract that they have the right to do that. So we are never going to do that. And again, you mentioned red flags. We cover red flag laws. A lot of the other players out there do not cover red flag laws, don't even cover reimbursement for confiscation of your weapon. If your weapon gets confiscated and it never gets returned to you, we'll give you up to $1,500 to return that weapon to you. And you mentioned the professional counseling. Those are things that we offer that other folks don't offer as well. And again, we don't cap your attorney fees, and we offer a pretty sizable bail bond protection in the event that you find yourself actually arrested and now you would like to be able to be bailed out and come back to your home. Those are some of the bigger incidents. I can get into nuances with you, but if I was to say to anybody, those are probably the bigger things to consider: uncapped attorney fees, unlimited as far as how many times you may go to trial or how many times you may get sued. Unlimited. We're never going to bill you back for it, and never in any situation. And I'm proud to say that two things: we've never had a member go to trial because the charges have always been dropped. And we have never had our members get so upset at us that they've sued us in the court of law. So we like to think that we go the extra mile to take care of us. I can tell you the president of our company has grown up in the gun industry, from been the general manager in a gun range and a retail outlet. So we all eat, breathe, and sleep the Second Amendment and the right for individuals to defend themselves.
Here's something I just thought of that maybe hasn't been mentioned yet. Let's say I have to take time off for work. I have to go be deposed. I have to show up for trial. What happens to the money I'm losing when I'm taking days off?
Yeah, we offer up to $1,500 in lost wages, so much on a per daily basis. Now, if you're a high paid executive making $500,000 a year, no, I'm sorry, we're not covering that. But but it's a whole lot better than doing your responsibility as a citizen and a voter. You're getting a whole lot more than $8 a day to show up for jury duty as well. Right. So we do offer a lost wages protection for you as well, to cover some of those expenses. But like I said to you, so far, since we started back in 2014, we've never had a member case go to trial. So nobody has ever had to experience the fact that we've had to help pay for lost wages, because that's never occurred.
Oh, that's awesome. I just popped up our website here. I don't know if you can see that, but I think folks maybe have a misconception that this is a tremendously expensive product, and you can see the individual basic when you apply the discount that that you folks are kindly offering to IFC members. It takes it down to like $10 a month just for a plan for coverage in Iowa. What I recommend, if you have kids that are growing up in the house, you're married, the spouse, get the family. But what I buy for my individual two boys is that individual premium, and that's what I have as well. And still, you're only talking maybe two or three trips to Starbucks a month to get substantial coverage.
Right. And in fact, the individual premium is our most popular plan. And I think two reasons for it. One, it covers you in all 50 states, number one. And number two, it does come with that bail bond coverage. All our plans come with unlimited and uncapped attorney fees in both criminal and civil litigation. But the individual premium adds the extra coverage of all 50 states. So if you're traveling, whether you're an Iowa resident, you find yourself here in Texas or upstate New York and something were to happen, we're there, we're covering you. And like I said, it offers that bail bonds protection. And you're right. If you start looking at the amount of money that you're talking about, it is a inexpensive peace of mind. And as you so accurately put, and I know my wife's not going to hear this video, so I'll say it. Yeah, my wife spends more than $21 a month at Starbucks. So if you start kind of looking at it from that perspective, it is a very, very, very inexpensive peace of mind to know that you are covered and you're not going to ruin your life financially to protect yourself.
Yeah, so we encourage folks, go to our iowafc.org, go to the website for Iowa Firearms Coalition. You click on our trusted partners and it will take you right to this page, and you can scroll down. You can watch some of the videos we've done. When you click the link, it automatically is going to apply that or the discount code there, IFC, but you can see what the prices are. So just encourage folks to take advantage of that. We don't want to have you in the position that we heard about recently where somebody called and said, man, I just went through this life-changing encounter, and I don't have anybody to back me up. I didn't have an attorney to call. I didn't have the funds in place to go to trial and prove my innocence. So, Jeff, I just want to thank first of all you folks for offering this and the cooperation and really the relationship that's being built between FLP and all my friends in the gun industry, Active Self-Protection, the others that have looked at all the options and narrowed in on FLP because it's real people we can contact, we can call. You've made your attorneys available just for Q&A sessions. So I just thank you for that and encourage folks to check out your product. Something else, I understand that you're willing to send people to Iowa. We can do a seminar, do more in-person things with folks that might be interested.
Absolutely. We'd be more than happy to do that. And we are honored to have the opportunity to be, connected to your association and folks that are strong advocates of both the Second Amendment and people's rights to defend themselves. So yes, absolutely. We would be more than willing to talk with you and see what makes sense, and have some folks that can come out and spend some time with your members and association and your board or whatever it is necessary to help you guys and keep spreading the word and get more people on board with the mindset of it's okay to defend yourself.
Absolutely. Jeff, thank you very much. Again, Firearms Legal Protection, you'll find it on the Iowa Firearms website. And we appreciate you being our guest today on the Warrior Wednesday segment and look forward to a deeper relationship in the future.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I truly do.
Okay. Thank you very much.